Hey everybody, thanks for coming to check out today's video. If you're watching this right around when it drops, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you're seeing this later, well, what were you doing? You should have watched it when it came out, because then it would make more sense that happy Mother's Day. But today I am making a dragonfly garden ornament for my mother. Because I love her so much, I decided that I'm going to use a bunch of random spare hardware I got laying around to make her a dragonfly for the garden. So, let me show you how I did it.
To start this project out, I'm beginning with the body, and for the head, I am using, let's be honest, I don't know what size they are. It's 2 large nuts and inch or inch and a quarter steel ball bearing for the head and eyes. Then for the rest of the body, I am using a taper cone bearing and a timing gear sprocket out of some random race car engine. I went to an engine shop and they were nice enough to let me buy some of their scrap, so that's where it came from, and I honestly have no idea what engine it came out of. For the rest of the body, I'm using 2 other wider large nuts and a slightly smaller one, so the body has a little bit of a taper to it, so it doesn't have a harsh drop off from the large nut to the head of the bolt that I'm using. Now that I got the body all tacked together, I'm going to go through and weld it all, because it'll be a lot easier to get that welding done now than later after I put the legs and the wings on. So, hammer it out now, and then I'm going to move on to making the legs. Right about now, I gave up on not wearing my sleeves while I was welding because I realized it was going to take me a lot longer than I initially thought, and it started to hurt, so better just to put the sleeves on. This is the first time I've ever welded a bearing onto something, and it actually spun after I was done. Now I'm going to move on to making the 3 sets of legs that I need for this project. I am putting the lower half of each of the legs at an angle, so hopefully it gives it the effect that it looks like it's moving once I put them all on later. I'm trying something a little different for this one. Instead of putting the heads of the bolt on the body, I wanted to try and keep them closer together, so I'm going to reverse it so the threads of the bolt will actually get welded to the body, and the bolt head will end up being little feet. With the legs all welded up, I'm going to start putting each one of them on. If you notice that I'm not wearing my normal safety glasses, don't worry, I didn't suddenly become a hipster or something. They are actually smart glasses that I'm trying out that hopefully will make the POV footage that I try to shoot easier for me. The old way was very inefficient, so hopefully this is better when I show you that footage later, because none of the first shots that I took with it were very good. They got better at the end, but that's later. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if it's better than the old stuff or you can't really tell the difference. Either way, let me know. With the legs all tacked on, I'm going to go through and put a bead across the outside of both sets of legs. Then I'm going to show you how I formed the frames for each one of the wings. To make the frames for the wings, I am using 1/4 inch round stock, and I wanted to make the ends of each one of the wings round. So to keep them from being too skinny, I'm using the cap off of my gas bottle for my welder as my form. I'm just going to go through and bend each one of the pieces around till I get roughly the same shape on each one of them. I'm going to go through afterwards, cut out 1-inch chunks of the round stock to finish off the bottoms of each one of my frames. Now that I got everything bent and cut, I'm going to go through and tack all of the frames together. Once I started putting them together, as you can kind of see here, I didn't get them exactly perfect, so there is a longer end on each one of the frames, but luckily, the way I bent them, they're all long, pretty much the same amount, so they should stay pretty even, and I'll just go through and cut off the little bit of extra on each one once I'm done putting all the frames together. I thought the wings would be a little boring if I just left them as empty frames, so I'm using some expanded metal that I had left over from a different project to make backers for each one of the wings. I'm going to go through, trace each one of them out, then I will go through, cut each one of them out, and show you how I attach the expanded metal to each one of the frames. With all the pieces cut out, I am now going to start going through and tacking each one to the frames. I didn't do the best job when I cut each one of them out with the cutoff wheel, so after I get everything tacked on, I'm going to go back through, cut off the excess, and put a sanding disc on my grinder and go through and sand everything down, so hopefully there aren't any sharp edges, because come on, I don't want this to be sharp and dangerous. I'm giving it to my mom. I don't want her to get hurt because of her Mother's Day gift. The time has come, the giant said, to talk of wings and things, and since I finally figured out how to use the new glasses a little bit better, we're going to switch over to Giant's view for the rest of the wing installation. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments if you think this is better, worse, or the same as what I was doing before. For the last step of this build, all I have to do is add a piece of rebar to the bottom of the dragonfly, so I actually have a way to stick this thing in the ground. I am using 3/4 inch rebar that is cut to 3.5 feet long. Ha! I actually knew one for once. Then all I gotta do is go through, get it all cleaned up, get it painted, and then I'll come back and show everybody some sweet B-roll. So, if you enjoyed this video, nah, that doesn't matter. This one's not for me. Thank you to all the moms out there and everything you do. We appreciate it, even if you don't hear it enough.
Alright, give up. I'm tired.